Taurus, welcome to your December 2024 astrological forecast. We'll just get straight into it. So, this month, you're going to have a focus on a little bit more psychological things. Your transits are more so like internal, introspective things, not so much outwardly facing. Although we will have a couple of things going on with your career and purpose, we'll get into the details. On December 5th, we have Mercury Cazimi in your 8th house. This essentially is when Mercury and the Sun line up exactly perfectly in the sky, and this is going to be highlighting your 8th house. When Mercury and the Sun line up perfectly, this allows us to receive insights, awareness, and knowledge that usually isn't allowed to us from the universe. Mercury retrogrades can usually be very confusing. We don't really know what's going on. Like, our logic, communication goes out the window. But on the Cazimi day is the only day where things start to make sense. So on December 5th, Mercury is Cazimi in your 8th house. This is happening in your house of debt, taxes, inheritances, investments, and it also has to do with psychological fears and traumas, things that are buried deep down within. So this can bring up a lot of things along those lines. You can be suddenly have a new insight or awareness of what investments to make, how to handle your debt. You start to really get illuminated on how to handle these certain areas of your life. You could understand or have a deeper awareness as to certain traumas or triggers or things that you have hiding underneath in your psyche, in your subconscious mind, that are possibly holding you back from even progressing in these other areas, like your investments and your debt and stuff like that. It's all tied in together. So on December 5th, you'll have that insight and awareness. I recommend writing them down so that way you don't forget about it. It's not the time to act on anything right now because Mercury is retrograde and the day right after Mars will be retrograde, but it is a good day to just have the awareness. And once you have the awareness, we can start slowly taking the steps to healing and working on these things and moving forward. On December 6th, like I said, Mars is going retrograde in the sign of Leo in your 4th house. This has to do with home and family. So you may notice there's a little bit more anger, aggression, hostility in your home. It could seem that your home feels a little bit more chaotic, maybe even family life, because 4th house is also family. So your home, your family life may seem a little bit just on edge, a little bit more than usual, and it can seem a little bit intense. This is only going to be going on for this month of December. After that, it will be moving into your 3rd house, and that's going to be in January, so we'll talk about it then. But for now, just keep that in mind, try to keep a level head. On December 7th, we are having Venus entering Aquarius in your 10th house. So this is highlighting your career and your purpose. Venus entering in your 10th house is adding a level of beautification, harmony into your career and purpose. So you may notice that maybe more people are appreciating you at work. You are doing more creative projects at work. You're deciding to put a little bit more effort into your appearance and how you show up in the world. These are all possibilities with Venus moving into your 10th house. It's right at the top of your chart, so everyone can now have the visibility of your planet, Venus, right at the top of your chart. So people are seeing you in a much more beautiful way. On the 15th, we are having a full moon in Gemini in your 2nd house, and Mercury is moving direct in your 8th house. Now, full moon in Gemini in your 2nd house has to do with your assets. Well, more so how the things that make you money. And it also has to do a little bit with your self-worth. With Mercury going direct in the 8th house, this is definitely tying in that axis of, okay, how is my self-worth related to the money that I'm getting in? And you can do a lot of internal reflection and transformation in that realm, in that space. If my camera shakes a little bit, my cat is like, I really hope my cat doesn't knock down the tripod. On the 19th, we're having Venus, your planet, in a beautiful harmonious trine with Jupiter. This is the most positive and beneficial aspect of the month for you, especially because this is your ruling planet, Venus, and it's in a positive aspect to Jupiter. This is happening in your 10th house and your 2nd house. So this is perfect for putting yourself out there for your skills and the things that you have, showing your skills out to people and getting paid for it. Second house has to do with your resources, has to do with how you make your money. And the 10th house is your purpose. It is your passion. It is the way people see you and perceive you. These two benefic planets in these two money-making houses, perfect. Chef's kiss, all right? So put yourself out there. Put your skills out there. Let people see you and the beauty that you bring into this world and let them pay you for it. On the 21st, we are having the sun moving into the sign of Capricorn in your 9th house. The 9th house has to do with long distance travel. It has to do with your belief systems, the way you see the world, the way that your concept of God, really. It's a deep house. It's like a philosophical house. And so sun moving into this house is bringing to light, and it's shining and illuminating these areas in your chart. You may have a desire to travel all of a sudden, or expand your knowledge in terms of religion or some type of philosophy, some way of thinking that expands your mind on the way the universe works. So that's going to be the theme for the next month for you, starting on December 21st up until January. On the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, we're having Jupiter square Saturn in your 2nd and 11th house. This has to do, once again, with your money, your self-worth, and your 11th house of social groups, your networks, putting yourself out there, once again, making sure you're communicating and networking yourself. The thing is, Saturn is in your 11th house, so you may feel a little bit of a restriction. You may have felt a bit of a restriction in terms of like putting yourself out there, allowing yourself to be seen. Your friend groups, maybe you may have not felt a lot of support by the people around you, maybe perhaps like your friend groups, or even just like in a broader sense, you may not have felt supported or even felt like you were worthy enough to put yourself out there for other people to see you. Jupiter in the 2nd house is illuminating that. It's like you have worth, you have stuff that you can show. And Saturn it's fighting with that Jupiter. It's fighting with that Jupiter and trying to get in the way of trying to allow you to express yourself and make money doing what you're meant to do and doing the things that you love. So make sure that you're doing that introspection and doing the inner work that's necessary to break past those chains of putting yourself out there and meeting new people and talking to people who are into the same things that you are, you know? On the 30th, we're having the new moon in Capricorn. This is happening in your 9th house. Once again, highlighting this need for travel, higher education, seeing things from a broader, bigger perspective. How do you relate to God and the universe? This is a new moon, so new beginnings in this front. You may now have a different spiritual practice, religious practice. You may decide to book a trip all of a sudden right at the end of the year, being like, I'm going to travel this year. This is my year to see the world, or something like that along those lines. So there you go, Taurus. That's your month of December. I'll see you guys in the next one.